Okay, we are live. A very green greetings to all the viewers who are watching this episode with us. Today, we have a very special guest with us. And I assure you, after hearing to his experiences, you would understand that how one is supposed to create a different identity and not just be represented by his or her designation. So with a thundering round of applause, I would like to welcome Mr. Nixon Joseph. Sir, thank you so much for being with us today. So I'll just give you a little bit of introduction about Mr. Joseph. So Mr. Nixon Joseph is CEO of CLT India, which is Children's Love Castles Trust based out of Bangalore. He has also served as the President and Chief Operating Officer of SBI Foundation and is a postgraduate in English language and literature. He joined SBI, State Bank of India in 1985 as probationary officer. As a career banker, he has extensive experience in various facets of banking like corporate credit, retail operations, international banking, and etc. He was also manager of operations in SBI Bahrain and chief executive officer of SBI Tokyo branch. And during his stint in Tokyo from year 2008 to year 2012, he was the president of the Sakura Toastmasters Club. And I think this is one common thing that we have because I've also served as president of Toastmasters Club of New Delhi, which is the second oldest club of India. And he had participated in all the SBI Green Marathons to spread the message of sustainability and be a change. And the kind of conversations we have had about marathons in this podcast, he'll be sharing about his journey of starting marathons, which is truly inspirational. Then, very interestingly, he's the recipient of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award 2018 for Excellence in Public Service and Dr. Kalam Memorial Ignited Minds Awards. He was felicitated as COVID warrior by the Honorable Governor of Maharashtra for spreading COVID relief activities. With this, we welcome you to Growdiesel's Impact Podcast, sir. How are you feeling today morning?
I'm feeling very excited to be part of this talk organized by Growdiesel, and extremely proud because Growdiesel is trying its best to make a difference and mitigate climate change impacts.
Thank you, sir. It feels really great to be doing that work. Now, sir, I have given your introduction, but in the first section, we have a superhero introduction. What superhero introduction is that you have to tell it to the audience who Nixon Joseph is in less than 30 seconds.
Nixon Joseph takes up challenges because challenges excite me, challenges put life into my days, and I always feel we should accept challenges and never give up.
Amazing, beautiful introduction, sir. So I'll just give you a superhero introduction about Growdiesel. So Growdiesel Climate Care Council is a Delhi-based social enterprise which is majorly solving two problems: waste elimination and biofuel generation. Till date, we have eliminated more than 250,000 metric tons of waste and converted it into reusable biofuel. This is what we do at Growdiesel. Now, sir, coming to your story, I think I'm very curious to know about one crazy story from your school and college time that you are super proud of.
School and college times, I was focused fully on studies only. But then one thing which I very clearly remember is though I was good in studies, I was not topping the class or school like that. So some of my teachers told me that as long as these 2-3 students are there, you won't be able to top the class. So when I heard that, I took it as a challenge. I remember I was in grade 2 or 3 at that time in the school. I took up as a challenge and I made it that the next exam which came, I stood first in the class. Wow. And then I thought that was a great lesson in determination, because I always believe determination is the key to achieve everything. And then at that grade, like when you are in grade 2 or grade 3, you are 6 years, 7 years old and all. But then like when someone told me that you can't top the class, it like I felt it inspired me to prove that I will be able to achieve anything. I always believe nothing is impossible if you are determined. So what happened is I stood first in the class, and then that became a habit for me. And up to my post-graduation, I topped the class and even the college, etc. I completed my graduation and post-graduation securing rank from University of Kerala. So this is something which I feel very proud of, that when you were challenged, you took up the challenge and then you faced that, you came out successful. So to those who are listening to me, what I want to convey is that any challenge, accept it. And if you are determined, you can become successful and face that challenge.
Indeed. Indeed. In fact, I think if the audience have been listening very carefully to what just Sir said, two important takeaways that we can extract from his stories. Number one, whenever you are being challenged, do not take it negatively. Rather, use that to ignite that positive spirit inside you so that you can actually achieve that. So even if you're being criticized for something, never take it negatively. That is my first takeaway from Sir's story. The second takeaway is that whenever you have made a decision, and if you're consistent on that, you can achieve and you can move mountains. Like in Sir's story, when he was challenged, he got determined that he is going to make it no matter what. And he made it. So I think that is a very interesting perspective which you shared, sir. And I think that was a pretty inspiring story. Now, I want to ask you, sir, since you have been involved in social sector for quite a long and at a very reputed organization, at a very reputed designation, what motivated you to pursue your career in the social sector at the first place?
See, I was with SBI for quite a long time, and I was specialized in corporate credit and international banking. But then after so many years in this area, I felt that it can be like work can become more exciting if I try to learn new things, if I go into a different area. So I opted for development sector. And then luckily we had the SBI Foundation, which was doing all the CSR activities for SBI. What I understood after being in SBI Foundation and overseeing the CSR activities or development activities is that if you are passionate about what you do, you can make a difference. I was really interested and passionate about what I was doing in SBI Foundation because I could see before my eyes the change I am bringing to people from marginalized sections. And we often know that the highest satisfaction you get is when you help others. So when I saw that my actions in SBI Foundation is making a positive difference in the lives of others, it excited me more, made me more passionate, and made me do like design many projects and all which would help them. Initially, my assignment in SBI Foundation was to mentor the SBI Youth for India Fellows. So mentoring 100 fellows is like running a college. It's like being a principal of a college because the present generation is quite different from mine. Like when I was a college student, I was almost obeying or completely obeying whatever elders tell, or like it was I didn't have an independent perspective or anything. Whereas the present generation has perspectives on everything. They are very, very independent in their views, in their decision making. And also, like, as I told, nowadays, the present generation has the luxury of taking up the profession which they like. That luxury was not available when I was young. So in this context, in this environment which they have, managing them is very, very challenging. But then I took upon the challenge of mentoring the SBI Youth for India fellows. There is almost 100 fellows per year. And I was closely following the development activities which they were doing in villages. So all these gave me a lot of satisfaction. One is I'm mentoring 100 youths to be change makers. Second, various other activities, projects of SBI Foundation, I'm making positive difference in the lives of the marginalized sections. So I felt I won't go back to banking. I will continue in development sector only. So in that way, I continued for 5 years in SBI Foundation. And then after retirement, I thought I will continue to be in development sector. And I joined Children's Love Castles Trust Bangalore as its CEO. And CLT India is in the education sector, where we are providing digital STEM education to students of rural government schools. Wow. So that also gives me a lot of satisfaction, because education is something which can change your life, which can give you whatever you want in life if you focus on education. I tell from my own life, I don't come from a very rich family. So whatever I have achieved in life is because of my education. So now in this NGO, as part of this NGO, leading a team of young people to bring change, I'm trying to provide good opportunity to students in government schools. Wow. And I'm sure in the long run, they would all come out successful because of the programs which we are implementing. And I'm very happy that I am being part of making change in their life.
I think that is pretty moving story, from how you started with the retail banking, and then finally you got an opportunity to work in the social sector, and how it actually made you realize that this is a particular field where you are able to make an impact. So I think that's a pretty inspiring story from a youngster, for a youngster like me who's trying to do something in the social sector. So I think all the youngsters who are watching, and even if you have not decided to work in the social sector specifically, I would urge that from his story, what sir is doing for the rural children and what he has done over quite some time being in SBI Foundation, I think wherever you are, whatever job you might be doing or whatever business you might be doing, I think you should devote some time, if not money, towards the social sector, where you can contribute to the society. And I think right now, sir, I'll share right now we are going to almost 30 to 40 Delhi government schools, where our student volunteers are going and providing education on climate related education. And when I talked to these students, initially they were skeptical that in the hot weather of Delhi, going there will be like a cumbersome process. But I am telling you from the experiences of these students, that when they went there, the experience that they felt, the joy that they got, they were like, sir, that we will go again. We don't care if it is 45 degrees in Delhi, but we enjoyed it so much. We enjoyed it so thoroughly that we are ready to do it again. So I think as we move
here,
forward,
I will like to add one more point.
Yes, sir.
Like, as far as banking is concerned, treasury, international banking, corporate credit, these are glamorous positions. Or if you work here, you feel very proud. I'm in a glamorous seat like that. But I always believe every section in your work area, every section in banking is glamorous. It is you who have to bring glamour to the seat. Like Growdiesel, but some of us metal, it is NGO sector, it is a foundation sector, like that. It's not having much glamour, like that. So I have seen many MBAs opting for glamorous assignments, telling this is very good. I'll be in the finance sector. I will be in the marketing sector. I will be in the general management sector. Yes. But I always believe that it is not the seat which brings glamour. You have to be passionate. You have to be determined. You should have your goals in mind. And if you do things passionately with lot of devotion and commitment, you bring glamour to that seat. So in that way, when I opted for a corporate social responsibility or foundation role, when I was in the bank, it was not considered very glamorous. People would have thought why he is opting for such a post which is not glamorous, which is just mundane. But what happened is that within 1 year, I did so much things passionately by being the president of SBI Foundation that the seat became very glamorous.
True, very true, sir. You brought glamour to that. Your work brought glamour to that particular seat. So I think very interesting perspective, because the kind of persona, sir, I see in you, you made it a point that you will not be recognized by the designation or by that particular post. So I think you created your own identity as a person, and that identity brought a lot of glamour in your terms to that to that position. So I think that's pretty commendable for all the listeners who are listening. It is such a delight to be talking to Mr. Nixon Joseph, sir, right now. I really don't feel that you are someone who's over 60 years of age. I feel that I'm talking to someone who's in early 30s or so, honestly. So, sir, my next question is, what is the biggest problem that you have solved, and how did you do that?
Because I always feel problems are there in in our life, in our career, everywhere. Problems are there. It is there. We cannot avoid problems at all. It is there. Banking also, if you see, I spent the 36 years with SBI. Every day there is some kind of challenge. But then over a period of time, when you face all these regularly, you just treat it as a routine. That is the thing. But then the biggest challenge which I faced while I was in the bank was when I was posted from Tokyo branch to Garo Hills, Meghalaya as the regional manager. So, you know, Japan is the most developed country, and Garo Hills, Meghalaya was not at all developed. Even now, like the place I was there, Garo Hills, no good restaurant, no good shopping centers, facilities are much less. That is a big challenge. How you adjust from your life in a very developed country where most of the things are automated. Most of the things are available on vending machines. You come to a region where it's almost like the opposite. Added to it, kidnapping was common at that time when I was posted there, that is in between 2013 to 2015. So people were not willing to take up this assignment. Regional manager, SBI Garo Hills, people were not willing to take it because they were scared of being kidnapped. So I'm coming straight from Tokyo to take over this assignment. I told it's not a problem for me. For me, every post which SBI gives me is an assignment. I cannot insist that I should be only in Singapore, Tokyo, or Bahrain, or foreign assignments, or even the metro cities. I think every part of India, wherever SBI sends me, is a good assignment. And I should tell that I considered the Garo Hills assignment as my most challenging assignment in my career. Much more than CEO of Tokyo branch. A CEO of Tokyo branch, you are very comfortable. You are not facing much challenges. Here you are going to face challenges because I was having a team of 430 staff. I had 42 branches spread over 5 districts where all of them were scared that any moment they may be kidnapped. So first job for me was how to motivate my 430 member team and make them perform. I visited every branch. I made a friendship with not only the branch managers, but every member in that team. From branch manager to clerical staff to messenger to the driver to the security guard in every branch. and give them confidence that
Sir, what
you won't be
exactly was this
kidnapped at
project?
all. In case you are getting kidnapped, I am there to help you.
I think
I organized many programs there to make a team out of these 430 people. Many picnics, many activities like Christmas Day carol activities or a fashion show, all these in that place were people, all my staff were scared. I organized all these activities. I organized even a marathon there, peace marathon.
Okay.
But then what happened is that one day I heard the news, 2 of my colleagues were kidnapped. So it was on me to see that they are released safely. The kidnappers came on the phone. They made their demands. I listened to their demands. I got in touch with the police. Finally, after 15 days of negotiation, with the help of the police also, with the support given by my team, I could ensure the safe release of 2 of my colleagues.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So that was something which I feel very proud of, because as a banker, you are not given training on how to deal with kidnappers. I feel no one in SBI is having 250,000 officials. No one in SBI, including our top executives, would have faced such a situation.
Indeed, sir.
Where the parents of the staff are before me crying. They want their sons to be released. All other their colleagues are asking me, what is the position? What is the status of the colleagues who have been kidnapped? But then all these I faced bravely. I had a confidence that I am doing something genuine in Garo Hills, Meghalaya. So everything good will happen to me. And why, like one thing I feel very proud of is that by getting the safe release of my colleagues, I instilled more confidence into my team. That here is a regional manager who is with you at times of crisis. So it's very easy for people to tell many goody things when everything is fine. But your real character comes out when you are challenged like this. I didn't run away from the scene. I was there. And I was quite confident that I won't be kidnapped.
Sir, it's a very, very, very inspiring story. And I think I honestly did not see that coming. I mean, whenever people talk about challenges, they talk about certain level of projects, they talk about certain complexities of those projects. But the kind of problem that you faced, that was so unique and something that we are not trained for.
Yes.
And how you optimistically solved it, that says so much about you as a leader. Because whenever we talk about a crisis in any organization for that matter, or we are assuming is the financial crisis, there may be job layoffs and all, but no one in their wildest dream can imagine that even kidnapping or something of this sort can happen. And at that point of time, when their boss or their the higher official is standing behind them to fix that, the kind of motivation and the kind of respect it brings amongst those colleagues, it is just commendable. I would really take this moment to clap for sir and all his efforts, because that is so truly motivating.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
As a young listener, and I'm very moved by this particular story, sir. Indeed, I'm still trying to absorb the whole story and the scenario, and you beautifully explained it. I'm very, very fascinated right now. So, sir, if you have to tell me from this particular story, what have been the biggest learning during this story when you fixed this particular problem? What is that 1 or 2 big learnings that you had during this time?
See, when I took up the assignment itself, I knew that there is a risk of colleagues being kidnapped. So I anticipated that and prepared for that in the sense that I build up a team, because like when such a crisis comes, there should be a team behind you who can support you, who have confidence in you. So I developed a team, means I had 430 colleagues in Garo Hills, Meghalaya, in 42 branches. I developed a team who had the confidence that I will be with them if any crisis happens. One. Second, as I told you, I anticipated risks and built connections. I had good connections with the district authorities, the police, and even up to the chief minister, home minister, and the DGP, etc. I build a connection, I will tell you, in a deliberate manner, because I knew in a crisis they will have to help me. So I did many CSR activities there, like organizing the peace run, organizing a Christmas carol festival, or helping someone in need, etc. And invited all these functionaries there, so that they knew here there is someone who is doing things genuinely. So when crisis comes, I knew I would be seeking their help and they will be readily helping me. And that had happened also. All of them, the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, then Dr. Mugul Sangma, Madam Vajri, the Home Minister at that time, the DGP, Mr. Y.C. Modi, all of them were with me when this crisis took place. So I felt more confident. I felt more satisfied that when the crisis is there, people are there to help me. But then it happened because I anticipated the risk and prepared myself for it. And the third thing is engaging with the community wherever you are working. What happens is, you are in a position, you may sit in your cabin and spend your assignment. Instead, if you go out, be with the community, engage with the community, understand them, talk to them. They will be with you when you are in times of crisis. Learn their language, have their food. All these connects you with the community. And when this crisis took place, the entire community was with me. And you take adequate precautions. Finally, believe in yourself that you will be able to address issues. You will be able to come out of challenges successfully, because you are doing things genuinely and in interest of the society. I always feel if there is some kind of self-interest, then things go awry. But if you are doing things just for the sake of it, just for developing the society, developing the community around you, in the interest of the bank, in the interest of India, things will go well. That has been the lesson which I learned from this incident.
I think those are pretty interesting lessons. If I have to just give it point by point, what I learned from Sir's learnings. Number one, Sir used his resources and made sure that all the top officials he was in touch with, because he knew that if there was a time of crisis, these people will be of great support. Secondly, he made sure that he was regularly in touch with the community. And I think that for the people whom you are working, it is not just for clicking for few photographs. It is not for social media. It is for greater good. It is about connecting genuinely with these people, so that at times you never know how things might turn. And sometimes when you require them, they will be with you if you were genuinely were with them. So I think networking with the higher officials was as important as networking with the local community, because solving a problem of this intensity would have required a great mental strength, which Mr. Joseph would have only gotten with the help of this community. So I think there are so many lessons which one can extract from your particular story but I think if I have to just sum up one lesson out of all the stories which you just shared, and that is courage. Being bold and courage. Sir, you have been very bold. I think from a very comfortable position in Japan, then you were given assignment in a remote area of Meghalaya. So I think it must have taken a lot of courage to to accept that assignment. because a lot of times when a person gets comfortable, he or she gets a comfortable designation, there are people to say good morning, good afternoon to them. I don't think anyone would like to leave that, because I think it can be addictive. That comfort zone can be addictive.
Yeah.
But you were courageous enough to leave those comforts and take up this new challenge. So I think you are very, very courageous, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, sir, I wanna now bring the focus to that one person in your story. Whom would you like to thank? The person who was at your back, or maybe there might be 2 3 people in this particular situation who really backed you and who were your biggest source of strength during this incident.
Firstly, I would tell my team of 430 colleagues, SBI colleagues of 42 branches in Garo Hills. They were my strength, because they believed in me. They had confidence in me that I will ensure the safe release of their colleagues. They had fully supported me and were with me and gave me complete freedom to do whatever I want to secure the release of our colleagues. So I would tell that my team was giving me a lot of strength, because I knew they are with me. Secondly, I would thank the government of Meghalaya, especially police department, and also the Home Minister, Madam Vajri of the time, who was contacting me every day and giving me updates about what the police were doing and what is the status, etc. Which she need not have done. Being the Honorable Home Minister, she could have asked some other senior police officer to convey me the status. But I'm very, when I look back, I'm very touched that the Honorable Home Minister herself is communicating to me on a daily basis about what is happening, what is the status of my colleagues, etc. Which shows the one about the relation I have built with her. Second is how much they felt that they should support someone who is doing activities which will bring change in Garo Hills, Meghalaya.
Indeed.
Yes.
So I think I really hope that all those 430 colleagues that you are thanking, they watch this episode and they get to relive those moments when the crisis happened and you were there for them. So now, sir, I would like to bring the story to a little on a lighter note. So
Yes.
what is the most innovative thing that you have done in your life, which you would like to talk about?
Most innovative thing which I did in my life was taking an interest in long distance running. As I told earlier, during my school, college days, I was focused only on studies. My parents, teachers, everyone used to tell you, focus on studies, you can achieve something in life. And it happened also. I'm very happy for their suggestions, for their guidance. But then they didn't give some focus on extracurricular activities. But at the age of 45, this thought came into my mind. Life is not just going to office at 9 o'clock and coming back at 9 p.m. We are endowed with a lot of talents. Are we using it? Or whether life is only for working from 9 to 9 p.m., 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. We are not living to do work. Rather, we should do work for a living. Also, I thought that SBI is having 250,000 officials. All are known as bankers. And being a banker, it's very, I don't think you can inspire others. No one goes to a banker and tells you are very inspiring. You can inspire others only if you do things differently. So I thought what I should do differently so that I'll be a different type of person, and also something which is not connected with my designation. Because your designation goes away when you retire. All designations everyone is having, be it IAS, IPS, or any position. Once you retire, that designation is away, that title is away. What you are is what is remaining without that designation. So I thought I should build something which will be me, which will be something different from the designation. And I also should be different from all the 250,000 officials of SBI. I found out that long distance running is something no one does in SBI at that time. That was in 2004, 2005.
Great.
So I thought this is something which I should do. And then I will be different from others. But here I will also tell that when I registered for the Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon in 2005, straight for the 42 kilometers full marathon. Wow. Not 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers, I have straight 42 kilometers, because I thought if I do something, it should be really great. Many people, my colleagues, friends, everyone came and discouraged me. They told me, you won't even complete 4 kilometers. They told me there is no need for you to do all these things. You're having a good career, focus on that. Many asked discouragement. Many told me, why you want to go for all these dangerous activities? And many told you won't even complete 10 kilometers, 42 kilometers is a very long distance, etc. Then I was just introspecting. From when we are from our childhood days, student days and all, various opinions come to us. You won't be a good student. You won't be a good musician. You won't succeed in life. You won't even complete 10 kilometers. You are good only in studies. All these opinions over a period of time become our beliefs. And we live in that prison of beliefs. So we don't try to come out of that. I thought, whatever my friends, colleagues are telling now, I'm trying to come out of that cage. That cage which told me that I am a very good student, but I won't be a good sportsman or runner. I decided I'm coming out of this cage, whatever be. So I started running. After 6-7 kilometers, I couldn't go ahead. I was exhausted. I was dehydrated. My body was aching everywhere, joints, all pain. I didn't know what to do. I thought I will surrender now. This is something which I cannot complete. Then all these thoughts came into my mind. If it was so easy, everyone would have completed a full marathon.
Very true.
No one had compelled me to participate in the full marathon. I myself took a decision. All those people who told that you won't complete 5 kilometers, you won't complete 10 kilometers, all these voices came into my mind. I decided, I will not surrender now. Somehow I have to complete 42 kilometers. I dragged myself up to the 42 kilometers finishing point, though there were temptations of coming out of the running track many times. I completed my first full marathon after 6 hours, 30 minutes, and I got my first full marathon finishers medal. When I got that medal, it gave me a great message that if you are determined, you can achieve anything in life. I started practicing well and improved my timings to 5 hours, 30 minutes or 5 hours when I was in Mumbai. I think 4 years continuously I participated in the Mumbai Marathon. Then I was in Japan. The environment in Japan is such that you will feel like running every day. And there I improved my timings to 4 hours, 30 minutes. When I returned to India, I started running 4 full marathons per year because I wanted one mental physical challenge before me every 3 months. Because if you have some mental physical challenge before you, you prepare for that, you discipline for that, you practice for that, and there is a lot of collateral benefits. So I completed 55 full marathons so far from zero physical activity till the age of 45. And what it has given to me is it has made me positive, more courageous, more bold, more determined, and also increased my productivity. So when someone tells in office or someone tells, I want to go for running, you shouldn't discourage them. Not only running, any extracurricular activity, because if you do well, in any extracurricular activity or any activity outside your work, over a period of time, it becomes your habit. And that habit, you take it to your office.
Office,
That
absolutely.
habit, you take it to your college, to university.
Very
It
true.
improves your productivity, it improves your positivity, urge to learn, energy, etc. And I'm very proud to tell to all the youngsters who are listening to me, I'm enjoying all these benefits. Apart from lot of friendship which I got because of running, I feel everyone who listens to me should have some extracurricular activity, not necessarily marathon running, something, dancing, playing football, something which will excite them. And that excitement you will be able to carry it through every aspect of your life, be it studies, be it work, be it married life, everywhere. That excitement, that spark will be with you.
Indeed, sir. I think, and the kind of energy that you have right now, probably, I think, running in marathons would have given you that internal energy, and you being always energetic. So I can actually sense that energy. And I think, like sir rightly mentioned, I'm a big believer of having some co-curricular activity in your life at every phase of your life. Like if I have to tell about me, I was in my IT club during my school life. Then I was in my entrepreneurship in my college life. And being a part of these co-curricular activities have made all the difference in my life as well. Like I think son must be reaping a lot of benefits in after running from marathons. I think not just during that those few hours when you're running that marathon, everything from getting tired to getting almost at the verge of being surrendering, but sir did not do that, and he was determined to complete that race. Now it must have definitely psychologically motivated sir even in his professional life. Like
Yes.
if some assignment must have come which must be feeling like, oh, this is so tough, and there must be a lot of people around who'll be criticizing, but he had that spirit of not surrendering, of ignoring these negative commentators, and be persistent in accomplishing that task. So I think that's a very great perspective that you just shared with all the people, and I believe that if people can extract this and implement it in their life, I think they can go a long way. Very, very inspiring story, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, sir, my next question is, if you get, let's say, $100 million right now, what problem will you solve?
I think I will I will spend this money in the health sector only, because this last 2 years, COVID scenario has shown us that our health infrastructure is requires a lot of improvement. Therefore, if I get so much of money, I will focus on the health sector, so that the primary health centers and all can be improved. Many facilities can be brought to government hospitals, etc. Because most of our people are not able to afford quality healthcare. So I use my money entirely in health sector only.
All right. That's very interesting. And I think the health sector really needs it. Now, so we come to the climate action section, which consists of 5 questions about climate change and how you view it. So this is the last section of this podcast, and I would urge all the viewers to listen to this section very, very carefully. So, sir, I want to ask you, what are some interesting climate initiatives that you are aware about, or maybe you got a chance to implement them when you were serving in the SBI Foundation? Any climate related interesting initiatives?
See, climate change, to mitigate climate change, most of the corporates, including SBI, what we are doing is focusing on renewable energy. So SBI was having many windmills, then also switching to CFL lamps, or switching to solar energy. All these are activities which are happening in the bank, and even SBI was pushing to digital platform in a very aggressive manner, so that less of paper is used. And in turn, the number of trees cut also gets reduced. And that has become very effective in SBI. When I look back at my days in SBI, SBI has been quite aggressive in doing things which would help fight climate change. And what some interesting things which I have heard is like some universities, they have gone for no meat days.
Okay.
So that everyone knows the cattle, all these are producing a lot of methane and aggravating the climate mitigation efforts.
Yes.
So if you reduce it, then the energy used in transporting processed meat, all these. So in one university, I heard they have made a no meat day.
Oh, wow.
That is there. Then some states or places or municipalities have made a no private vehicle day. So you'll have to travel on a public transport. Then some places they're encouraging recycled things, that you should you should not buy new dress. Instead, you should buy for go for used dress and all, which are available. Then some youths also I have seen, they have shifted or adopted a minimalist way of living, having only minimal things. So these are the trends which I find people are doing to see that they're contributing in their own way to limit the climate change impact. And in my case also, I will tell you, like in SBI head office at Mumbai, it is a 20-storied structure. And I was in the 6th floor. But when someone calls me from 19th floor or 18th floor, I rarely used the lift or escalator. I used to climb the stairs only.
Wow.
One, it makes you sustainable, then you are also contributing to sustainability in one way.
True.
So in small ways, we can all change ourselves, adopt some good habits, which will make life sustainable and contribute to a better planet.
Very true, sir. In fact, I'll show you, like you mentioned. So this pencil is made up of recycled newspaper.
Yes,
and this t-shirt which I'm wearing is made up of 8 recycled plastic bottles, and I just wear these t-shirts.
Very interesting. Yes.
So I think that's very interesting, all the things that you mentioned. And I want to ask you, do you think our governments, corporations, and institutions doing enough to fight climate change?
I think the government.
I'm not specifically saying that Indian government. I'm just saying.
I mean, generally, if I tell, like if you see, like many countries, depending on the resources they are doing, or they are taking a lot of efforts to fight climate change, like be it European countries, US, etc. Depending, they have a lot of resources, so they are doing their best to fight climate change by shifting to renewable energy, etc., in a very aggressive manner. India is also doing. So India is committed that we will become carbon neutral, etc. But then what happens is, there's because of COVID, all these would have taken a backseat. Also, resources is a very big criteria, significant criteria in fighting climate change. Poor countries in Africa and Asia and all will not be able to fight climate change unless the rich countries like US or European countries, etc., come to the rescue. And here I feel these developed countries are not being very generous in helping countries like India or other African countries and all to mitigate the climate change effects or fight against support activities to fight climate change, etc. And because of that, there could be a delay in fighting climate change or reducing temperature by 1.5 degree and all, which is our target. So I feel that climate change can be fought and be successful only if the entire globe, entire countries come together and then fight, because we all have to live in this earth. There is no other planet for us to live. So all the countries have to come together. If Africa suffers, its effect will be found in US. It will not be in Africa alone. So this has to be considered as a global issue, and also there has to be urgency on the part of developed and rich countries to transfer more resources aggressively to less developed countries. Only then this can be successful. Otherwise, see, if I tell my country is like my country is doing everything and it has done its best, it has become carbon neutral, it won't be of much significance unless all the other countries in the globe are also equally successful. Because only then we can tell our planet has become safe. It's not one country has become safe, so they cannot get away from the adverse climate effects of other countries.
Very true, sir. Very true. I completely agree with you. So, sir, if I have to ask you, what is your one crazy idea of making this planet greener? What is that?
I would tell that we should stop all the private vehicles in India, and we should ask people to shift to public transport. Or ask people only those private vehicles will be allowed which is working on renewable energy.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I completely agree with you as well.
Yeah. It may not be very practical, but this is one crazy idea which I am having.
It can be not necessarily electric vehicles, but they can use biofuels.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Sir, my last question of this podcast, and not rather a question, rather it's a request that I would request you to take one pledge to fight climate change, and you would urge everyone else to follow too. One climate action that you pledge to do and urge the viewers to do as well.
I will, I pledge today that I will not waste water, and I will also see that others do not waste water.
It's very, very interesting initiative, sir. With this, we come to the end of the Impact podcast, and it was truly a delight to hear Mr. Nixon Joseph, sir. And I think after listening to you, sir, I think the kind of perspective I've had for people working in the social sector, it has tremendously changed. I think you are the senior most person in the social sector development space whom I have interacted with. And it has been a truly delight to interact with you, because you have spent a considerable amount of your years working in this sector, and I'm someone who has just started his journey in the social development sector. So I think today I learned a lot of things about how a person should be in terms of character. That has been my biggest learning. And you, sir, are a very inspiring and a motivating figure. And I think I'll be sharing few of your stories on my LinkedIn post, that what I learned and how we can, as a society, can learn from you. The youngsters can learn from you. So with this, we conclude this podcast, and I will see all the viewers in the next episode.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Growdiesel, thank you very much.